Hi, I'm Jim Thomas. Welcome to Chicagoland's only outdoor show where you can be the winner. Today we're giving away hundreds of dollars in prizes, so don't go away. Nice to have you with us. You know, folks, if there's one sight in all the outdoors that gives me the ultimate pleasure, it's watching our youngsters participate. A close personal friend of mine, the late great Herb Parsons of Winchester Western Company, many years ago said, if you hunt and fish with your boy or girl, you won't have to hunt for them. Now, when you give Herb's slogan a little thought, you're bound to see the wisdom it contains. It's hard to imagine that any small fry given half a chance to learn would ever turn down an opportunity to go on an outdoors adventure. It's up to us to see that this happens. We adults are the only ones who can help intensify an already growing interest in hunting and fishing, which most of these kids have. Now, this can best be accomplished by taking some of these youths with you to the field or stream. Anyway, we're going to get deeper into this topic and today's first question right after this short break. Mr. Jim Schaefer of John H. Springman Junior High School in Glenview, Illinois, is the author of our first question today, which obviously is about youngsters and outdoor sports. Mr. Schaefer writes in part, I would enjoy seeing any future segments of your program that center around children and the outdoors. Well, Jim, I wish I had time to read your entire letter because it has to do with a subject close to my heart, and I concur with your thoughts completely. So what do you say we take a couple of boys up to Northwestern Ontario for their learning?
Yes, this is a real Canadian wilderness, an area filled with rugged beauty everywhere around you. A great waterfall far above a river thunders through the wilderness, and then the stream plunges off a cliff 50 feet high and crashes into the lake below. In a quiet pocket where the rapids begin to lose their strength, walleye come to feed in the early morning. You work the edge of the fast water, trolling slowly. And before you know it, one of the youngsters already has one on.
Oh, I hope it's a nice, big, golden walleye. A walleye! It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's real slow. That's real slow. Real slow. Right now, don't lift anyone. Don't lift anyone. Lift up a little. Wait a minute. Don't do nothing. We'll tell you when, Willie. Willie, don't do nothing. We'll tell you when. Okay, Johnny. Oh. Oh. Oh.
But he learned another lesson. You don't win them all. Sometimes you pick up the action on walleye fishing a bit by leaving the fast water and going around the point. Here you find a deeper shoreline, and you know I can't possibly think of anything more rewarding than a couple of adults taking out two small boys and introducing them to fishing like this. I guess this is just one of the many reasons why fishing always has and always will be the great sport it is for young and old alike. When you're teaching a youngster to fish, you have as much fun as the kid himself when he hooks one. See what we mean? Let's sit back and see how this young fella makes out with his. As a matter of fact, they're both hooked into a fighting walleye. Well, there's one on board. And here comes number 2. Oh, the walleye is not the greatest fighting fish in the world unless he's much larger than these, but when it comes to eating, nothing can equal it. And when you get them this size, they become a great piece of merchandise in the frying pan, too. They're a school fish. When you get one, you'll invariably get more. See what we mean? There's a dandy. And man, hook even a small 2 or 3 pounder in these cold Canadian waters and you'll have a real fight on your hands. Well, there's another nice walleye for the old stringer. And no one need remind anybody that these kids are having the time of their lives. There's another bruiser of the weed beds up in this part of the country called the northern pike. They grow big and tough. And brother, they can test the skill and tackle of any angler to the nth degree. These babies have real powerhouse drive. And on light tackle, oh brother. The northern is not normally a topwater fighter, although it's not uncommon for him to make 1 or 2 jumps. Most of his fight is deep down where he sounds and pulls and tugs. And every time he gets up near the boat and you think you can get a line on him, well, he takes off more line again. And take it from a guy who knows, when you try to land one of these babies without a net or gaff, you'd better use extreme caution. Those powerful jaws are lined with razor-sharp teeth, and they know how to use them. Yes, sir, that's a nice northern in anybody's book. But man does not live by fish alone. And it certainly isn't necessary to convince these boys of that. They were a couple of hungry men. And believe you me, a man who knows how to fillet these fish can fix them up so there's not a bone in them. A prerequisite for filleting fish is a sharp knife. And of course, a steady hand. What kid doesn't dream of finding buried treasure, huh? And up here, the muskeg grows as soft as a mattress. But even the search for buried treasure has to be forsaken when the aroma starts drifting through those jack pine trees. Yes, sir, a couple of youngsters on their very first trip into the wilds of Canada. Needless to say, they'll never forget this experience, and you can be certain of another thing, too. By the time they get home, they will have gained a good 5 pounds each.
Thanks, Jim Schaefer, for your question, and keep up the good work. Here's what we'll be sending you. A Daiwa spinning combo consisting of a famous Daiwa Wriggle spinning reel, which features autocast, 1 ball bearing, and the patented gyro spin system, along with a 2-piece Triforce X graphite spinning rod, strong, lightweight, powerful, with sensitivity to feel the lightest strikes. Daiwa, committed to total quality, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Our next question today comes from Chuck Wilson of Lowell, Indiana, and reads as follows. Do you have any film on big game hunting out west? I would enjoy seeing you hunting any big game out west somewhere. Well, Chuck, I've hunted big game in my time just about everywhere a man could do so legally, including Africa. But in all of my jaunts, the hunting was always really secondary. The real thrill to me has always been the beauty of both the animals and the country around me. And I'm happy to note from your letter that you share that same feeling. But I'll tell you what, come on with me down to the great Southwest on a Corsican ram hunt, and I'll give you a better idea. Most big game hunting trips begin at daylight, and here at the Dolan Creek Ranch, located a few miles north of Del Rio, Texas, there is no exception to this rule. And during the season, there's always a chill in the air at this hour of the morning, especially here at the base of the big hills of Devil's River. Our quarry today, the elusive Corsican ram, and my companions, Phil Arledge, president of Del Rio's Chamber of Commerce, and John Finnegan, owner of Dolan Creek Ranch, who will act as our guide on this most challenging expedition. The ranch itself consists of more than 23,000 acres of some of the most ruggedly beautiful country in North America. And most of these acres are stocked with an abundance of exotic big game, not the least of which are near-record Corsican ram, our target for today. But just for now, we gaze in awe at the natural splendor of the magnificent countryside surrounding us. And this is also ram country. The more inaccessible it becomes to man, the better this crafty old sheep likes it. That's why a good Corsican head is a much desired trophy. But even after negotiating the jagged rocks and the creek beds of the high country, there's still no guarantee that you'll so much as get a fleeting glimpse of the one you're after. And then when you finally reach the area where a big ram was sighted several days before, you plan your stalk. It is agreed that we'll leave our scout vehicle at the base of this steep bluff and continue on foot. And here's where the real work begins. This terrain wasn't meant for hiking. Because of so many loose rock underfoot, every step involves a risk. And it seems that everything near you either bites or sticks to your skin. But in spite of the tough going, there's always that thought in the back of your mind that the big one is just over the next hilltop. It is the excitement created by this anticipation that drives you up one rocky slope and down the other and up the next one. Here are some signs. There's been some activity around this spot, and not too long ago either. Both Phil and John agree, however, that it's something other than the big ram we're looking for. Wait a minute. There's something moving just ahead in the bush. Well, what do you know? Fallow deer. Two nice bucks and a doe. But that's not what we're after, so we pass them by. And from here you'd swear that they knew they weren't being hunted too, judging by the way they meander up that hillside. Pretty fair rack on that buck. So we just take a short breather and prepare to start hoofing it again. But I still can't get over this country. Man, miles and miles of bluffs and valleys, and not another human in sight. Suddenly, John thinks he's spotted something up ahead. Now's when the old blood pressure starts to rise. You ease in as quietly as possible, with the wind in your face. Yes, you must remain upwind at all times when stalking, or you wouldn't stand a chance. There, right out in front of us, Corsican rams, several of them. Man, we walked right into them and surprised them. And even though we're extremely close to the rams, the wind is still in our favor, so they aren't unduly alarmed. In fact, they're more curious at this point than anything else. But they know something's not right, and they're not hanging around to find out. And then it happened.
Out of nowhere, up high, by some 300 yards, the big one appears. Look at that hit. Phil and I tossed a coin at the beginning of the hunt to determine which of us got the first shot. I won, but then my quarry disappears behind the hill. The big question is, will he reappear long enough for me to get in that shot? Luck was with it. One clean shot dropped him instantly. It was truly one of the best shots I'd ever made in my life. 300 yards offhand, a perfect neck shot. I still can't believe it. Man, Lady Luck was sure looking over my shoulder. Yeah, but there's nothing Lady Luck can do about climbing those 300 yards straight up to retrieve the ram. Brother, you got to do that all by yourself. And if I elaborated a bit on the walking involved in the stalking of my trophy, well, I'm here to tell you that it was a taxi ride compared to what lies ahead. Not only do we have to climb way up there, but we've got to haul the ram all the way back to the Scout, which is several miles behind. But it's really a small price to pay for the thrills and chills this hunt has offered. And as we neared the top, weariness is replaced by excitement. A newfound strength surges through your body. 50 yards to go, just 50 more yards, and you'll be able to get your first close-up look of the ram you've come so far to bag. And there he is, a beautiful animal, lying exactly where he fell at that first impact. And all three of us are gasping for breath, not entirely due to the climb, but more so because of the feeling of complete exhilaration to be able to stalk a trophy like this on foot for hours and then collect it is an adventure not soon forgotten. Okay, fellas, let's begin the long trip home.
Yes, like on most of those great adventures, there's a lot more riding and walking and climbing and stalking than there is shooting, and that's the way I like it. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed the film, and we know you're going to enjoy this prize. Daiwa's new Black Widow bait casting reel with your choice of right or left-handed retrieve, offering exceptional performance, matched with one of Daiwa's Triforce number 561 series bait casting rods, with many exciting features like a new reel seat design for superior sensitivity and comfort. Daiwa, committed to total quality. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Well, we got a little time for Jim's closing notes here. We have a letter from Jerry Parzignat of Hanover Park, Illinois. Kind of interesting. It's really a two-part letter. He says here that he's a big fan of Fred Bear, and during a discussion with a friend, his friend said that Fred Bear shot a bow with a 120-pound pole. And he wants to know if that's true. Well, the fact is, I haven't heard of many over a 100-pound pole, but I did know Fred Bear, worked with him, made films with him, hunted with him for many years. And Fred Bear did have a 120-pound bow. I have never been with him when he used it, but he certainly used a 100-pound bow a great deal. And let me tell you, you don't just pick up a bow with that pull and start using it. I mean, some other archer friends of mine, Bill Nagley from San Antonio, Texas, who did a lot of hunting in Africa with a bow, would start when he wasn't hunting for quite a while, like for several months or so. He would start with a 30 or 40-pound bow and master that, and then continue working up at a 10-pound increased level of pull until he finally worked up to a 100-pound bow. So let me tell you, it's not easy. But Fred Bear did have a bow with a 120-pound pull, and it takes quite an arm. Of course, Fred had a good arm. The second part of Jerry's letter, I don't know quite how to figure this one out. He says that, why is it that black flies in Canada only bite you on the ankles? Well, let me tell you, Jerry, if you know of a place in Canada where the black flies only bite you on the ankles, I'd like to know about it, because as far as I'm concerned, they will bite any exposed part of your body, and believe me, you can become very badly infected with those bites. Jerry, thanks you a lot for the question and your input here. We invite you to send more letters in to us, you folks, on this Gem Closing Notes. A little gift of ours. We hope you use it in good health and with a great deal of success. A little plastic lure box for you, Jerry. Thanks a lot for sending the letter to us. And that's it for now. We hope you enjoyed the program as much as we did bringing it to you. Remember, enjoy our great outdoors, but please don't leave your good manners at home, okay? Until next time, this is Jim Thomas saying so long and best of luck to you all.